It's one of the weirdest feelings I think I may have ever had. In my brain, there is a place where there should be a memory, but it's not there. It's so odd to me because in many ways, it was the defining moment of who I would become. This event was so seminal. Every person in my family who was there that day talks to me about this thing that happened to me. It was so important that it literally defined the passion of my life. And yet, of that moment, I have no memory personally at all. All I have is what people tell me happened, and a vague feeling that I sort of remember it, but every time it gets close to coalescing in my mind, it just sort of vaporizes. There was another moment in my life that happened at a place called the WEDF, the Waterfront Enlisted Dining Facility. If you're watching the video, it's approximately where that yellow circle is. This little incident, completely unimportant and defining of nothing, is so well ingrained in my mind that I can still smell the event. And yet, none of the people who I know were there have any memory of it at all. It was as if I was the only one that even imagined it. Is it really a memory? Or was it just something that I think I remember, like a rose in December? The last 2 years have been tragic. They've been difficult. They've been frustrating. They've been angering. They have been beyond understanding at times. The state of Washington, where I live now, has a governor that I have nicknamed Zero because that's how many votes he got when he ran for president. The only person to get fewer votes than Kamala Harris in the primaries. Held a press conference this week at which he announced that the outdoor mask mandate was going to end in 2 weeks here in the state of Washington. Much like my surprise at discovering Neil Young was still alive, I was surprised to find that we had an outdoor mask mandate. Didn't even know we had one. Nobody's wearing them. Nobody's doing anything with this. And yet, here we are being told that, well, I'm finally going to end this for you. Pat me on the back. Thank me was almost the attitude. We have watched our lives be disrupted. We have watched people being told that they're non-essential. We have watched jobs vanish, supply chains, medical procedures being put off, people dying because whatever reason, friends who never saw each other again because of the government's reaction to all of this nonsensical stuff. And while there is much that could be said about it, much that could be argued about it, much could be complained about, and I'm certainly willing to do that, my bigger question is, what will we remember about this? My son, Ben, whom has kind of a pragmatic outlook on life, things don't seem to bother him much. He seems to be pretty even-keeled. But I've noticed over the past few weeks that he is really struggling. And he won't quite tell us why, but he hates going to school. He hates it. I don't mean doesn't like it. I don't mean he complains about it until he gets there. I mean, he hates it. Something's going on. Is it the masks? Is he's so tired of wearing masks? We can't get him to go anywhere because he doesn't want to wear a mask. He doesn't want to go anywhere. What will he remember of these 2 years? What will he take from this? He's 11. When that first incident happened, when that first event happened all those years ago, I was 6. I know it says January 71 on the picture, but that was when it was developed. That's the way they used to do it. But when the actual incident happened, it was the summer before. I was 6. I have no memory of it. When the other incident happened, I was 24. I still have no real memory of it. It's odd to me. What will Ben remember of these last 2 years? Will he remember it differently than I do? Will he remember everything or just some of it? Or will it completely be forgotten? In the coming years, how will we remember this? How will it be spun? What will the official record say of what happened over the last 2 years? What will be told in a decade? A generation? Half a century? What will we be told is the official story about what happened to the world, let alone ourselves, from 2019, 2020 to now? It's not over yet either. That's the other thing. Now, you can tell me you don't care what the official records say. You can tell me the history books, I was there. I'll never forget, you can say to me. History tells me a little bit differently, because even things that literally defined who I would become, I can't remember them. They're gone. They don't exist. Many centuries ago, millennia ago, there was a place called Alexandria. It still exists, but in that day, it was a little bit different than it is now. But in Alexandria was a library. It's called the Library of Alexandria. You've probably heard of it. And in this library was literally the repository of practically everything that humans had learned up to that point. And we're talking about 2,500 years ago. It was, of course, written down on scrolls. By some estimates, there were well over 100,000 books. Some consider that low. Everything that humans knew, everything we had discovered, everything we had thought about was there. But as time went by, in the Roman Empire's unwillingness to not rewrite things, the term to Alexandria something literally became to mean to rewrite what we knew. So all of the knowledge that we had, the Roman Empire would say, that's not quite what we like. That doesn't fit our agenda. And so they would Alexandria and make the scribes at the Library of Alexandria rewrite it. And when Julius Caesar got himself trapped there, he started a fire to defend his legions, and the fire spread, and it burned much of that library. Now, to his credit, it was rebuilt, but over time, it became less and less important because nobody cared what we remembered. Nobody cared what we knew. It didn't fit the agenda of the day, and so we would Alexandria it. It's a weird verb, isn't it? And in 391 of the Common Era, the Pope Theophilus ordered what was left of the Alexandria Library, by that point, burned and destroyed. Why? because all of that human knowledge, all of those stories, all of those things, all of that did not fit his agenda. It didn't fit what he wanted told. It didn't fit what he believed. And nothing remains of the Alexandria Library. All of that human knowledge is gone. We can't even say with any certainty that we've relearned it, because we don't know what we knew and didn't know in those times. We can't even say what we don't know, because it's gone. Like gas into the stratosphere. What remains of the Alexandria Library, what remains of that human history is just a memory. There's nothing there to actually touch, to actually feel, to actually see, to actually know. It's gone. How much knowledge was destroyed or lost in that final fire flickering into the night? How much of what we remember about these 2 years, how much of what we know about what has happened to us will become like roses in December? Just a memory. Just something that we might say to ourselves we know existed, but we can't really put our fingers on it anymore. If we even remember it at all.